everyone, it's Jasmill. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about looking for jobs, unemployment, and just struggling. This is episode 2 of my new series called Millennial Glow-up. If you don't know, I am a 27-year-old unemployed young millennial near Boston, Massachusetts. I just want to film this because I want to keep myself accountable. I want to make some drastic changes in my life. I want to inspire you guys. I want to hear from other people, and I also want to let people know that they're not alone. I've had a lot of ups and downs ever since I've graduated college because I've been switching like my career path and like what I want to do. I've been going after things and then have been unsuccessful in them or not where I want to be. Yeah, I just feel like for the next few years, like as I'm wrapping up my 20s, I just want to be in a way different place in life. I want to be more stable. I want to be in a path where I see growth and I see me accomplishing more of the things that I want to accomplish. I want to own property. I want to move out. I want to have funds to travel and just more savings, more emergency funds, and I just want to take you guys on my journey. So that's why I'm filming this while I am like starting almost from the bottom. So let's kind of start after college. I studied accounting and business and just business in general in college. I got my BA. I had a 3.8 GPA. I did very well in my school and my studies, but I also went to a state school and it wasn't really the best, greatest education. Like my professors weren't that amazing, and I felt like the school work didn't really challenge me, and I felt like it was super not easy but doable. And I just picked a general course because I never knew what I wanted to do, or even if I did know what I want to do, I thought that it was impossible. Growing up, I've always loved like artistic things. I've loved singing, I loved cooking, I loved animals. I got into sports, but I never thought that any of those avenues would work for me or would be like something that would be a career for me. I just always felt like I was good at a lot of things, but I wasn't great or excellent at any of them. So I just picked business because it was the most general and the most like basic, and you can get a job in corporate America and whatever. So that's basically what I did. And I was gonna go for my CPA, and I decided to stay an extra year just to get 150 credits. So in case I did do my CPA, I met that requirement. I got an internship in accounts receivable, and I got an internship in tax accounting for individuals. And then after college, I graduated and I kind of took a little break, a 6-month break. And I told my parents it was because I was studying for the CPA and I wanted to dedicate my time just for the CPA. But I actually just wanted to just give myself a little break, and I was studying for the CPA, but I just wanted to focus on another business venture and see where that would take me. So I joined this network marketing group called Iridian, and they sold green energy, and I felt like the mission was pretty cool and the product was really cool. I wasn't selling anything to anyone that they weren't paying for already. I was just asking people that I knew to switch to more green energy and they might be able to save some money. So I felt like it was a pretty good deal, and I just bought into the whole thing. And even though I didn't really have a good outcome with it, I was able to make like over $1,000 because I did sell my uncle on solar panels, which is pretty cool. And I did learn a lot of skills, and I got into personal development, and I read a lot of books, and I just put myself out there. I took a risk and I had people under me, but it just got to be too time consuming and overwhelming. I took almost a year of my life doing that, and I lost a lot of friendships, or not friendships, but acquaintances. And the company was being shady, and eventually the company switched their product and it was more expensive and it wasn't really working out. And then eventually the company, after I left, they sent out a statement that they weren't even able to pay people for the like their payment schedule, the network marketing part of it. So they were just getting like regular employees. So I just didn't want to do it anymore. So after that, I applied for like a month. I think I applied in January after I graduated. And I was like 23 because again, I spent another year in college. So I was 23 by that point, and I landed my first job, and it was like kind of easy. I applied, but they called me back and she was like, you seem like you would be a good fit for another entry-level position that you don't need that much experience, but from your internships, it seems like you would like be a better fit here. So I was like, okay. So I interviewed, and it was one of the biggest software companies in Boston, Massachusetts. I've never heard of this place before. I just saw some reviews online, and they were saying that it was modern, and this company was like just casual, and they had basketball hoops, they had all this food, and it was just a pretty cool place to work at. And they just did a merger and they went public, so now they were like $1 billion company. And they hired me. I did really well on the interview, and I got my first job. And I started Valentine's Day of 2017, so I was 23, almost turning 24. And it was like all right. The pay was really, really low. It was like $41,000, $42,000. And I even think that they lowballed me because on average in Boston for an accounts payable position, you should be making $45,000. So I got them to give me an extra like $1,000 on top of like what they offered me, but I still think that it was kind of too low. But the work was super easy, super basic. It was just data entry and like cleaning up some spreadsheets. Super easy, but the office was beautiful. It was in a beautiful part of Boston. But I feel like I didn't really enjoy it because all the money that I was making, I was putting it towards my school loans, and I was contributing the most that I could to my 401k, and I was just being very frugal. I didn't go out at all for drinks. I was just saving my money, and I spent some of it sometimes on like makeup and clothes. That's usually what gets to me, or like trips. But I felt like I was pretty good with my money, and I was also giving my mom a lot of money, and I was in charge of the groceries for my household, and I love groceries and I love food, and food is such a big thing for me. So I invested a lot of money. I was spending like $600, maybe even more, on food every month on my tiny little paycheck. I still lived at home even though I did want to move out when I was like 24. I started looking for apartments in the city, but I was like applying for an apartment that was coming out, an apartment building that was coming out. It was going to be in the North End in Boston, but I needed a roommate, and none of my friends could afford it or could live with me, and I think they wanted people that were making like $70K a year. So I gave that idea up, and then my dog died that summer of 2017, and that's when my plans changed a lot. I felt like, and also I just wasn't happy with the work that I was doing, and I wasn't really happy with my team. Like, it was very, very lonely. I was surrounded by all these white people, and they were nice, but I just wasn't connecting with anyone. I wasn't clicking with them. It wasn't that they were bad or they were mean. They were just stuck by themselves or stuck with their clique. And I had some friends of color in the company that were in different departments because this building was huge. So there was opportunities to make friends, but eventually I distanced myself from a lot of them. And you know, sometimes you just grow apart and you just don't stay friends with people. So I just would go, I would commute. This was my day. I would wake up at 5 to take the bus from my city at 6 a.m. to get to Boston at 7 a.m. and I would work from 7 to 4 p.m. and then I would get on the bus and come back here at like 5:30, and then I would go to the gym and just chill and maybe make a YouTube video or watch TV or whatever, or prepare food for the next day. It was just very mundane, and I like stability and I like routine, but sometimes you just get so depressed. I felt like my soul was dying. I felt like I had no purpose. I had no friends. it came to the point where I was talking only to the maintenance woman that worked in the building, and she was Central American, and I was able to practice some of my Spanish with her, and she was super sweet. And like I said, the company had a lot of benefits. It was a really cool office, but I just didn't feel like I belonged. And then I told my manager I wanted to do something more creative, and I wasn't like motivated or challenged. She was like, there's not really many creative options that you can do in this field, like maybe you can go to another department. But I felt like I was like stuck. And then I also brought up to her that I was interested in like the abroad program within the company, and maybe I can do a semester in Ireland for the company and do accounts payable over there. But then I felt like she shut down my idea and kind of made it seem like it wasn't possible. Like I had to like really prove myself, or be in a position where it's more higher like level, because I was 24, 25, and I just like wanted to travel and be somewhere else. And even though the work was boring, I was like, maybe it'll be less boring if I'm in the city in Ireland, or like another office, and you know, change of scenery. But again, after my dog died, I just felt really down and depressed, and I was already planning for my leave, and I was already planning to quit my job. So I was looking up like things I can do in another country, like volunteer and like free opportunities I can do. I didn't want to teach English, and I didn't want to babysit because I'm not that great with babies. I'm a little better with kids, but I didn't want to be responsible for children. So I found this program where you can live on a farm and help out and do labor for them, and they'll provide you with food and shelter. So I told my friends about this idea, and one friend was like, oh my god, I want to do this, because she was doing her master's program and she was working an internship and she was working full-time, but she was like, I need a break next summer and we need to go somewhere together, and I'm totally down for this. She wasn't really down to like do work and live on a farm, but she was down to like travel and like just take a break for a few months. So we started planning and we started researching, and the only places that I really wanted to go was Hawaii. I wanted to work on a farm right on the beach and just like relax and swim and learn how to surf and eat all the tropical fruit in the world. But that didn't work out. I messaged like 3 farms and all of them declined me. So it was getting down to like time was running out a little bit, I guess, and I couldn't find any more farms that I was like really interested in, and any locations that I would be interested in. I was thinking of Costa Rica, but all the farms were in like the middle of the jungle rainforest, and it was gonna be humid, or like just like not the ideal place to live. And my friend was like, why don't we fucking ditch all those plans, and why don't we just save up money, get a cheap Airbnb in one of these countries in Latin America, and just like relax and chill and explore and travel. And I was like, because I wasn't making that much money, and it was hard for me to save with all the stuff that I had allocated my money to. I was like, fine. So I was able to save up, I think, $2,000, and we booked our flights in like May 2018. And I gave my leave, I gave my 2-week, or I actually gave 3 weeks of notification in June. And my manager was on maternity leave, and it just like happened to, like the timing happened to be really sucky, because I didn't want to leave while she was on maternity leave, but I didn't want to tell her beforehand because I didn't want her to fire me until I got everything that I needed. I wanted to stay in the company for as long as possible so I can, you know, keep making money. So I even feel like maybe I could have like talked to my manager and been like, is it okay if I leave for 2 months and then just come back? But I felt like what company like goes for that, and what company would hire someone that wants to leave? And like I said, I felt like I had no future there. They were getting rid of my position, and I felt like I didn't want to keep moving in the accounting direction, and I felt like I just didn't want to try any other department. So I left, the director and the VP of finance were the ones that were like the next hierarchy, because my manager was on maternity leave, and they were like really shocked and surprised. And I knew that they liked me, but I didn't know that they cared that much. And they were like super sad, and they just like were like, thank you so much for this letter, we're really sad to see you go. And even the CFO came to my desk and was like, if you ever need something, just know that you can always come back, and like, you did a great job. And I had no idea that these white men even cared, but maybe they were being fake, I don't know. But they were being super nice, and I stayed there for an extra 3 weeks. I trained the intern that replaced me and other people that were replacing me, and I left, and we went to Colombia for 2 months, and it was so chill and it was so fun. And I'm gonna stop right here because it's getting really long, and I'm gonna continue this story maybe in a part 2. And I'll talk about my time in Colombia, and I'll talk about what happened after Colombia and the rest of 2018, and then my downfall in 2019 and 2020, I guess. So stay tuned for that. I hope that this resonates with you guys.